I saw this on a movie.
Yeah, this looks cool.
It's an S1.
It's an S1 is just an administrative position in the military. Like if your pay is messed up, you go see S1.
Yeah.
But their hours are like 10 to 10:15 every day, and that's it. They're notorious for having like the shortest window, and it's like, oh, we're having sergeant's time from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And like, what the fuck is sergeant's time? It's like, oh, we're doing training. It's like, bitch, I haven't gotten paid in 3 fucking months.
And you need them the most, dude. I remember when I got selected, I had to leave that day. I was in Germany. I had to leave that day. I needed my paperwork signed that day. I went to S1, gone. Nobody's in the office.
Yep.
And I was like, I need this signed now. And I was like, where are they? They're like, oh, they're at a change of command ceremony. I said, where the fuck is that ceremony? And they're like, oh, it's on the main field. And I was like, well, I'm finding S1 that field. I grabbed the pen out of their office, took my paperwork, and ran to the field. And they were doing a full-out ceremony on the field. And I'm running around looking for S1. I shit you not. And they're all looking at me like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I was like, fuck you, I'm getting out of here. And I was like, hey, I need this sign. They're like, what are you doing? And they're like, fuck. And they signed it on the field, pissed off.
God.
And I had to run. Dude, it was the last minute. If I didn't get that sign, I was going to miss my flight that they set up for me to get to the States for the Q course.
That's crazy. People always talk to me about like what separates Green Berets from regular soldiers. And I always tell them, it's not like SF guys are not superheroes, right? We just don't take no for an answer.
That's
and we come up
exactly
with unconventional solutions. Like that shit, anybody else would be like, fuck, I can't get that. I can't do that. There's a ceremony going on. You're like, fuck that.
Fuck that.
Fuck your change of command, sir.
Yeah.
Like you're
fuck you, officer. I gotta go, and I need to go now. So if
that's awesome.
It's my career on the line. I don't give a shit about your change of command.
That's awesome.
And
man.
I found her in formation. She was at parade rest, the E6 sergeant, standing in formation. And I was like, I need you to sign this. And she's like, fucking no. And I was like, get you to sign it. And I get there, she was like, fucking. And I was like, get out of here. And I'm running off the field. Just, I don't give a fuck, bro.
Oh,
and then the funny thing is, after graduating the Q course, I was doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Because I had to out-process in time to get to Carson. Because I had all the shit packed in the car, family in a hotel on Carson, and nobody was in the S1 to sign my documents.
Oh, so, when you got to Carson?
No, so when I was out-processing Bragg, I'm sorry,
okay, yeah.
I had all my family in a hotel on Bragg, and we needed to hit the road that day to get to Carson to in-process on time. And they were closing within like 5 minutes. I'm running across Fort Bragg. And it's funny that you say that because now in Germany, that was like a big deal. Like, oh, you're crazy. Why are you doing that? But once you get to Bragg and they're surrounded by SF hopefuls and like new graduates, you'll see motherfuckers running everywhere.
Yeah, I remember that. Like signing out that last day in Bragg, trying to get all your signatures before it closed.
Yeah.
Because like I'm getting on the fucking road.
Because otherwise, you're stuck the whole weekend, and then you can't drive all weekend, and then you're paying for the hotel.
Yeah.
For your family to sit in a shitty.
I remember that. Household goods are already gone.
Yeah.
Like you're just waiting for to get out of there.
That Fort Bragg hotel was garbage, bro. It was like some Vietnam type.
Was
shit.
that the one that was right next to the language building?
Yes.
Dude, I stayed in that hotel when I went there for operator advanced course. It was okay, but it sucked because there's so many fucking officers that were staying in there too.
Dude, ours was trash.
That was my first school, so I didn't realize that I could stay on a hotel off post. Yeah. After that, I learned real fucking quick though. I didn't stay there anymore.
We were only supposed to be there a night. I ended up being there like 3 days.
I think they tore them down now. I heard they tore that down and the language building.
Good, because that place was shit.
Oh, the language building was terrible. That's another thing when I was like telling people is like never take no for an answer. One thing I always tell them is like, never accept your first no, right? Because people love to say no to something.
Yeah.
And like even like it might just be a little more work than they're used to or whatever it is, but they like to say no. So I always tell people never accept your first no. If you want something, find a way to make it happen. Because a lot of times there are ways to make things happen. Like when they tell you no. Like when I did when I went to SFAS afterwards, I went back to Fort Riley and they're like, you have to have 12 months at your duty station before you can PCS out of there. I just went everywhere and got all my papers signed, and I was at my 9-month mark, and everybody just signed off on the papers, right? So if I would have listened when they're like, you need 12 months, I'd have been stuck there for an extra 3.5 months. I just went everywhere, got all the papers signed, nobody said shit, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm out. And they signed off on everything, and I was like, cool, I'm out of here.
That's when that PT or PSD position came up for the sergeant major, and they were like, no. And then the sergeant major came back in line. I was like, hey, sergeant major, I heard you needed a spot, and he was like, don't take no for an answer. If you want something, fucking go until you know for a fact that door is not coming open. You need to fucking shake on it, kick on it, push on it. And that's how we get everything done.
And for you, it caused a little ass pain, right?
Yeah.
But you got through it, and you got what you wanted.
Oh, I had to live in a foxhole for a week and a half, digging a foxhole, which a foxhole is just a hole that you dig in the ground for like fucking World War II shit. And they had me in the field digging a hole every single day. The first sergeant would come out and yell at me to dig my hole deeper because they were so pissed at me that I went behind their backs to the sergeant major. And then Pam, my wife, was going to get sent back to the States because our paperwork wasn't submitted for being married. So our marriage certificate wasn't submitted. So they weren't going to let her stay in Germany with our kid.
Oh, damn.
So while I was digging this hole, my family was about to get sent to the fucking States. And so I told them, I said, I have to get this paperwork submitted so they don't send her back to the States. And this bitch said, this E7 said, no real world operations in the field. And I was like, you piece of shit.
Bitch, like, this is my life right now.
So she's essentially the highest command I can go to, because the first sergeant, I'm pretty sure she was banging him. So I couldn't go to him. And so, you know what I did? Found the chaplain.
Nice.
I went to the chaplain. That's
always find the chaplain.
Always find the chaplain. The chaplain came by, looked at my hole, and said, how you doing? I was like, sir, not so good. My wife's about to get sent back to the States. And he goes, why? I was like, because I don't have the paperwork turned in. He goes, why not? Why? That just seems like an easy fix. And I was like, it is. And he goes, well, who has it? I was like, Sergeant First Class so-and-so. And he's like, oh, well, I'll go talk to her.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you, sir.
Chaplains have so much power because they kind of exist outside of the chain of command, and they're fucking officers.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and they know,
can get a lot done.
They know when a chaplain asks, it's for the soul of a soldier. It's for their well-being. It's so when a chaplain gets involved, it's to help their well-being. So it's like, if you're going to go against a chaplain, you're saying fuck that person and
you better
everything.
have a good fucking reason.
You better have a real good reason, because you know the chaplain's only stepping in if it's for like their mental health.
Yeah.
And so he went and spoke to her, and she was fucking pissed. All of a sudden, Pam was like texting me, and she's like, it's all taken care of. I was like, fuck yes. And it's not even for some bullshit. It was my family not getting shipped back to the United States and leaving me in Germany by myself. Fucking, that's the thing that they don't tell you about the military is you rub people the wrong way, they will fucking bend you over and rail you.